this Sunday school webinar. And if you haven't been here before, this is your first one, you're especially welcome. And of course, we welcome the old timers, the people who never misses an education, a chance of getting to learn more and educate themselves. And these webinars is held every Sunday, except when there is something colliding, like maybe there's a big event or there's something going on. So most of the people are not online. But this Sunday, we will talk about characteristic of a leader. So what's the leader's characteristic? I just want to start with this. This is, if you haven't read Kiyosaki, he's an excellent promoter of direct sales, business, and many things. But he's also one of the few, I think, guys out there that really in love with the industry of direct sales. He promotes it. He loves it. He wrote several books. If you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad, you got to read it. It's the basic, the first one he wrote. Then he wrote several books after that. And he says, focus first on your education. Then the money will follow. That's what I used to say to you guys every Sunday. That being rich is not a bank account. It's the knowledge, the empiric knowledge that you acquired. And empiric knowledge is different from theoretical knowledge, because theoretical knowledge, it's good, but have you ever thought about, all the professors at all universities? Have you ever seen one driving up in his Ferrari to work? No, not very often, because he has a lot of knowledge, a lot of theoretical knowledge that he either didn't put in use or it was the wrong knowledge. Anyway, there was just a little bit of humor in that. Of course, we respect the professors at universities, but it's actually true. They have a lot of knowledge, but not knowledge put in use. Some of them do maybe, but most of them don't. But here we talk about empiric knowledge. What is that? That is the knowledge that you put into action, then it becomes yours. When you have done something, and no one can take that away from you. So when you acquire that kind of knowledge, you will become rich. And like Kiyosaki says, when you educate yourself, money is a byproduct of how you think. Because this is so true. We can't stress this enough. Every week, we kind of touch on this subject, that you have to be something before you can do. So you got to first be. So you acquire knowledge, then you can do. And when you do, you got to do before you can have. And then when you have something, you can give it away. So what does all this have to do with the characteristics of a leader? Well, I will go through, we will have this as a blueprint for today's webinar. So this will tie into some other stuff I will go through a little bit later. But a leader is always setting the pace. A leader lead. That's you can hear it on the word leader, leader. So a leader doesn't follow. A leader doesn't ask his team or his people what to do, because then he's not a leader. Then the team is making decisions for the lead. So leader is always making the decisions. The leaders always have most of the knowledge, more knowledge than the people he lead. Otherwise, there's someone else that's going to be a leader. Makes sense? So the leader is always setting the pace. The leaders always have a sense of urgency. It's going to be now, not next week, not next month. It's now. It's happening now. Everything that you do in business is now. There's no later. I do it later, because later will never come. And speed is everything. I'm not saying that you have to rush through things, but speed is everything. The way you do stuff, if you do shorter presentations and you can acquire a lot more that day. But also speed in when you read, you don't have to read for hours. When you plan, you don't have to plan for days. So speed is everything. And that is connected with the sense of urgency. You see, when you have a sense of urgency, you will have the speed. So it's connected to each other. Be attractive. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't have everything to do with how you dress yourself, but that's one way of being attractive. You only get one chance to make a first impression. Doesn't mean that you have to run around in a suit or the best dress that you have in your wardrobe. But if we're talking about dressing up, it's better to be a little bit dressed up than dressed down. But also be attractive in your character. Be attractive in the person you are. Be considerate and, thoughtful and kind, and, think about the people that you're working with first, because that's real leadership. The leaders also have to sacrifice. Leaders have to do stuff that others don't, because then you can have stuff that others won't have, because they're not leaders. Then it's up to everyone to become a leader. That's why we have these webinars. These are webinars for you to pick up principles so you can become a leader. Maybe you're already a leader. Maybe you're already leading people, but there's several levels of leadership. We never stop learning. We never win on the wins we had yesterday, because yesterday's already gone. So there's a new day today. And leaders are responsible. I'm responsible. So what is happening in my team is because of me or not because of me. So I am responsible. And the ability to respond is actually what responsibility means. Responsibility means the ability to respond. To what? To problems. Because problems will occur, and that's a leader's purpose, is to take the people through problems, to live in the solution, to have a solution. So anyway, we will not go deep into all this, but these are some of the characteristics of a leader. There's many more, of course, but these are some important stuff that you will see will benefit your business. So if it's so easy to succeed, you have books of success and you have webinars and you have all these trainings. And so why don't people succeed if it's that easy? Because it is actually easy. It's easier to win, you know. You maybe don't get that expression, but it is. It's easier to win. So why is it? Well, the thing is, it's so easy to do, but it's also easy not to. And you say, what's easy not to? Everything. What we are talking about here in this webinar today, the characteristics of a leader, is easy not to become a leader. It's easy not to be at this webinar. It's easy not to do presentations. It's easy not to plan. It's easy not to set goals, and so on. So the people who do things, who take action, it's of course the winners. We know that. But, it's always good to hear it again. And today we will go through a little bit here about, for me, it was an awakening 30 years ago. Actually, soon 32 years ago, when I started working with my mentor, and he had me to read books because I hadn't been reading very much. And it wasn't a habit that I had. And he stressed, he said, Peter, you got to read. You got to read before you go to bed. And you got to read when you wake up in the morning. And he said, if you do that, you will create a new habit. Because when you read something when you go to bed, that's what you wake up with. If you then start reading the same stuff or in the same, kind of, you're working in a book, or you're reading a success book, or, you're working with a webinar, and you start reading the same stuff that you read when you went to bed. You start to creating a new habit. And your mind will pick up on those things, and you will have a better day, because you don't have nothing more than today. Because yesterday's gone and tomorrow's not here. So you only have today. That's why living in the now is so important. So word has a meaning. Words cannot return void. That's why it's so important. Never talk bad about yourself. Never use language that are negative. Oh, I can't do that, or, I'm always unlucky, or, stuff that has a negative input in yourself. So start talking good about yourself. But the meaning of the word work, you know what that is? Is to become. So you can see, wow, it's starting to coming together here. We're starting this webinar. We said that you got to be before you can do, okay? And then now we realize that the word work, the meaning of work is to become. So you will never become anything. You'll never be anyone without work. And why is it that people are not successful? Why is it that people stay in the lower levels of Maslow's pyramid? Because they're lazy. It's not their fault, because they're programmed that way. Someone told them that free stuff is good, or, someone told them that you don't have to work very hard because, it will turn out good anyway, or, whatever. But the meaning of being here is to become someone, so that you can do, so that you can have. That's why you need to work hard. And you know that expression, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And that's why we're here. This half hour every Sunday is for you to pick up. And there's so much, the people who doesn't like these webinars, they don't get it. They're in the wrong place. They have to wake up. They have to become humble, because there's so much information. I'm not saying that these are the best webinars in the world. I'm just saying there's a lot of information. If you have a pen and paper and you take notes, what we're talking about these Sundays, you will become better. You will educate yourself. There's no doubt about it. So the meaning of the word work is to become. But listen to me now. Unsuccessful people, we talked about, if you've been here, you know that 95% of our decisions is made in the subconscious mind. And if you're new, this is your first webinar, you can go back, or you can borrow the link from someone when we talked about the subconscious mind. But real simple, it's like we have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. And 5% of our decisions is in the conscious mind. We think that we make decisions, but we actually make decisions of the way we've been programmed all the way up until today. So if you have been listening to these kind of webinars since you were 5 years old, you will be multimillionaire already. But some of us, we have to go the long way. We have to relearn because someone taught us the wrong stuff and we ended up in the wrong direction. Now we're changing direction and we're learning new stuff. And one big thing is that unsuccessful people, they have a habit to dwell on the circumstance that they don't want, because they don't understand that they are programming themselves with the stuff they don't want. It's exactly what they will be. They will have those things because the subconscious mind can't differ from not wanting or wanting. That subconscious mind would just do whatever we think, whatever kind of thoughts we are putting inside the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind will go, okay, I'll do that. Anyway, so this is how it works. There's only a now to be in, because yesterday is already gone. But unsuccessful people, they dwell on the circumstances that were yesterday's worries. Something happened and they still think about those things. And we got the best system ever, because there's no other way. We got these blocks here. You see, the now is the 24-hour period. When you wake up in the morning and you go to bed, this is now, today, and the now is actually right now. You're sitting here listening. Now is now. And when we say now, it's already gone, because that second is gone. But people have a tendency to go back into yesterday's worries and then bring back yesterday's worries in the now, which will destroy the now for them. So they will become negative in the now, which there's no purpose at all. They don't have to do that, but they are doing it. So one of the biggest things to become successful is to actually be in the now, seize the day. But also, unsuccessful people, what they do is that they can worry about tomorrow's problems today. Tomorrow's problems have its own worries. That's tomorrow. So they dwell on stuff they think are going to happen, or maybe this will happen, or maybe this will happen next week, or they bring in worries and negative affirmations in the now, which will destroy the whole meaning of being here. So take this example. You're listening to me now at this webinar, and then you start thinking about some negative. Then you will wander away in your thoughts, and you will miss a lot of information. That's why it's so important to be here and now, here in the now. Because your habits will always be related to your core belief system, what you really believe it's possible. And that is those 95%. So your habits is created by your thinking. You know, now you've been with me for so long, so you should have got this now, that we become what we think about most of the day. And your core belief system will decide your actions or no actions. What? I don't get it, you say. Well, stay with me. Action will always take you out of fear. Action will always be intention. Action is the great fear killer. So if you are a person who are dwelling upon worries from yesterday, you got to take action. If you take action, you will kill the worry. You will kill the fear. That's why it's so simple. It's so easy to become successful, because if you just take action, you will get out of worry. And the people who've done it, they know what I'm talking about. And why is fear the number one success killer? Well, look at it this way. We have a thought. Everybody is thinking. You know, you wake up in the morning and you start thinking. So you can say like this: if you don't have a plan, if you don't have your goals to think about, what do you think about then? Because what you think about is what you will affirm and will happen in your life, you know, in a simple way, explaining. So let's say you wake up, you start thinking, and a problem occurs. Out of a problem, most people will connect the problem with something negative. But I will tell you right now, if you can change your thinking that about the problem, that problem is part of the equation, then you will get another feeling. But most people will have a negative feeling about the problem. So the feeling that they get is, oh, there's no way I can do this, or, you know, I'm too, you know, this and that, or I was born in this family, or blah, 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 blah. You know, they have this inner conversation with themselves. But listen, this is the key to success. We have a thought, a problem occurs, we get a feeling, even though we haven't learned yet that a problem is good. So we still have negative feelings. Let's say we have a negative feeling. You know how to solve this equation? A new thought. So if you don't have trained yourself to habitually think that problem is good, then you can have a new thought after the negative feeling. Then you go like, wow, I'm going to do this anyway because I made a decision. I set my goals. I know where I'm going. It doesn't matter. When you're thinking like that, the negative vibes will go away. So when you've done this repeatedly, day in and day out for years, then your core belief system is something else. So you have success already inside your subconscious mind. And your subconscious will go, yep, we're here to make success. We're here to make a difference. We're here to help people. We're here to solve problems. We're here to do stuff. But most people don't have that programming because they've been programmed by society, by media, by their family, by the people they hang around with. That's why it's so important to stick around the winners, hang around the people who are going somewhere, who know where they're going, because attitude is contagious. as much as anything else. So you got to hang around people who know where they're going, who have an upbeat attitude about life. Then it will smear off on you. So let's go back to the characteristics of a leader. You see that setting a pace and have a sense of urgency is connected to how we think. Speed is connected to the sense of urgency. And who you are, how you dress, how you think, is who you probably hang around with, because that you will pick up maybe I should dress like him, or maybe I should go like this, or so. And to sacrifice time and effort to be a servant of others is what you learn by being at these webinars, or building your team. And the ability to respond, your responsibility as a leader will start to grow. And I will come close to the end here at this webinar. That a success formula that you need to understand is that we don't reap what we need. There's so much need in the world. So our purpose is to wake people up, because they don't know. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have these webinars to go to. So they still believe that they are, they actually are getting stuff because they need stuff. But that's not how it works. We don't reap what we need. We reap what we plant. We are planters. The success is always, always for the planters, the people who plant. What do we plant? Well, when you set your goals, you're planting. When you plan, you're planting. When you help people you're building a team, you're planting. You're a planner. So when you plant, when you sow those seeds around yourself, wherever you go, wherever you meet people, you're sowing those seeds. Your appearance is the one of a successful person. If you act like you're already successful, you have a bigger chance of becoming successful. So we reap, we plant, not what we need. There's a much need in the world. That's why we're here. Because we are the world changers. We will change people's lives by helping them changing the way they think. And what we are today, what other people are, is a result of people's decisions. People have to make a decision. They have to decide to become successful. So it's a decision in the success formula. No decision, no success. You have to make an inner decision, like a decision with yourself, like you make a contract with yourself. And this is just an easy way to show. You've probably seen this before. I've used it a couple of times. Every day we're making choices. So what kind of choices? Well, you're making a choice to be here at the webinar. Some people made a choice not to be here. They missed out some valuable information that they could have used. And that's how it works. Some people will, some people won't. So what? Next. We make the decisions. We are the decision makers. If we are going to go into fear, or if we're going to fight, love. To care about other people is to be on the right side. To help other people is to be on the right side. So to say, everything good in life is on the right side. Everything bad is on the left side. Everything bad is happening to people. They make choices. to flee or to be in fear. It's simple as that. And I will end this webinar for you guys today with, helping one person might not change the whole world, but it could change the whole world for that person. So with that, I will say, just go out in the world and be a world changer, because you were not born to make a living. You were born to make a difference. And be out there, be happy, joyous, prosperous, and free. And most of all, free, because you're not who you think you are. You are who you think you are. This